either later today or tomorrow, and that features 400 replays since the start of this month, including matches played post the most recent patch, which you guys will get access to. They're all labeled by race, matchup, they're labeled by player name and by map name, so you get all the information just given to you easily, easy to sift through, easy to figure out what you want to watch and to enjoy the replays from. Alright, well the early game is going to open interestingly, so let's introduce these guys. The bottom right from Team Liquid, our blue Terran player is uThermal. He is going up against the red Zerg, who is Proxy Hatchery in game number 1. To the top left hand side from Team Expert, it is Blind. Blind a bit of a cheeky mood today as he throws down this Proxy Hatch. We also already saw him taking down Soul in a 5-game series. Let's see if he can impress again against another Terran player now, as we continue on through in this one. If you're looking to support Matcherino, guys, it's super simple. All you have to do is go to the Matcherino page, click sign in, and as you sign in, you can sign in via Twitch, Battle.net, Twitter, Facebook, or Google+. It doesn't matter what you sign in through, all of them will work, and all of them will allow you to use the coupon code MC108 to add $1 to the prize pool. Helps a lot. Wardy, am I still in the EU? Yes, I'm in Poland right now. I'll be back in England on Christmas Eve. I travel back on Sunday, so literally on Christmas Eve. But yeah, I'm in Poland right now, which is why we have a little bit of a different audio setup and stuff to usual. That's why you guys can't see some of the bits and pieces. Super Duper Neil's coming in with the Twitch Prime sub. No, where's your sub streak gone? Rip. Rip. Dude, what's up? Thank you for the Twitch Prime sub, though. Putting us 10 subs away from 300. Let's see those Wardy hearts all over again, people. Thank you so much, Super Duper Neils, for Twitch Priming. Oh, your sub combo broke. I know, buddy. What the fuck? It's sad. Feels bad, man. I appreciate the constant support, though. I'll remember it. I'll never forget that you had a sub streak of I think it's a long time, right? You had like, what, like 16, 17 months almost, I think? Anyways, this game is getting intense, guys. I've got to talk about it. Bunk on the low ground is going to be denied. Bunk on the high ground maybe denied initially, but another SCV should be able to come in. Obviously, uThermal saw this pretty quick, and so he's got a second racks up and the factory built in the tech lab already. I think he's going to be able to push this away without too much issue here. As we see this bunker will just cancel again. uThermal's having a little bit more trouble than I think, just because he didn't expect these bunkers to get denied so many times here so far. You're not going to see this depot is going to be broken through. What's a shame is that all the damage uThermal has done to these roaches already is now being kind of negated by the fact that he's just made them into ravages, so they get healed up to full health. 2 depots will drop here. uThermal will get ready to pull some SCVs in to help push this back, because right now he does not have much of a defense at all in position. One of his barracks goes down, but he does have another to the right side. So that's an advantage as we see another roach getting down. It's just morphs into a Ravager again. And that's uThermal's issue. Now remember, Bly is essentially just still on one base here. Took uThermal a little while there to actually step back in towards the production of that bunker, but he's going to get it finished up now, it seems. Marines are going to hunt down those Ravagers. Well, this was very close because obviously he lost the tank in the process, but he will get every single one of these, and as this Ravager finishes, he'll even be able to sort of step down and chase away. No, he gets away on 1 hit point. Ravager just survives while the bunker's still up. uThermal down to 10 SCVs, but again, he's up a base essentially. As long as Bly doesn't actually start mining from this one, and now a new siege tank on the way. The thing is, now to kill the siege tank, you have to go through the bunker, and there isn't that many Ravagers left over. And obviously, to kill the bunker, you're going to be in range of the siege tank. As we're going to be seeing the bunker just popping out a few Marines once again. Another bunker coming up just for uThermal to make sure. As Bly does start up a drone. Obviously, uThermal can just reproduce his SCVs on one base for now. Overall, I mean, uThermal gets into a very powerful position. He still has 1 barracks up, which helps continue to produce those Marines. Would it have been your 22 months? Oh, dude, what the hell? Yeah, I guess I didn't even realize how far along we were. Wow, time passes so quickly. Wow, that's kind of sad. Thank you for the consistent support again, though. So those Twitch primers, man. Not auto-renewing. What's with that? What's with that, eh? It's silly. Anyways. We've seen these Marines jumping out of the bunker, trying to do a little bit more damage here. Another siege tank does pop out. Bly again committing here and there to pick off these tanks, but I mean now it's a bit of an overcommitment, right? Because he's going to lose these Ravagers. Because he picked up another few SCPs, it keeps you from a low on economy, which is kind of important, but you know he also needs to kind of keep himself with an economy too. uThermal can siege this tank again because the Ravagers aren't here, but I can't make Ravagers forever. They're very expensive units. Crypt currently approaching towards uThermal's natural, which of course could cause some issues as well. Is going to be morphing in. There's an next set of Ravagers again, but this time there's going to be a second tank already halfway done. And so again, the initial Bile will maybe get rid of one of these tanks, but will not get rid of both. And so uThermal will be very safe and solid in terms of his setup on the high ground. 21 SCVs to 25 drones. Bly is definitely taking points of this game advantage in terms of the go, but it's not going to be forever. And CC taking some hits, but uThermal's happy to just let it take some hits to keep the roaches there to bait out a shot in the tanks. And Bly heals up the roach with the Ravager morphing, so gets that going for himself too. CV across the map was just scouting and keeping track of this base, finally sees the kind of the natural hatchery coming down. So uThermal well aware of the sort of position he's in, as again the creep spread will try and delay the natural a bit as well when uThermal eventually does push down this ramp. Question is, when does he push down this ramp? Maybe with 3 siege tanks. So that sort of number where things are going to be very powerful. uThermal building a tech lab now as well, and a reactor, so he's really getting ready to go in towards his full-on bio-production with Stimpack and all sorts. As you're just going to see the roaches around. He's actually breaking down these rocks, making life a bit more difficult for the Terran to defend moving forwards. You see them make their natural just harder place to hold on to, as we really see tanks pushing their way forwards towards this ramp. Trying to stay out of vision, I guess, of this overlord on the high ground. Tanks again will protect as these Marines are trying to come down here. That group spreading so far back that it's going to take a couple of scans to get rid of this. I mean, you could argue, maybe even getting to the point where you could argue for a Raven. It's not every day that you can have a justifiable kind of Raven production, but it's definitely something that could happen. Because the Bile's not hitting their mark, and against him on the way up. uThermal just pushing forwards with these tanks slowly but surely, put himself in a position to really solidify here. And there's a lot of creeps, but I actually think it's going to take more than one scan just to break out of the natural now. There's one scan right away here, so he'll get rid of one creep tumor. Bly knows that he's going to be able to force more scans with this, though, if he keeps it up, as we're going to see him committing very far forwards. He kills a siege tank, but some heavy damage on his units means he can't really poke in once again, not for a little while at least. Well, if he does, he's probably going to lose units in the process. Little bars just to keep the Marines from pushing forwards. Micro war here, really going between the players. Tanks on the low ground, and uThermal is cleaning up some of this creep spread. He will get that creeper teammate over this side again, but there's still this one here, which is still going to be a little bit of a tough spot. Marines and tanks pick up a couple of roaches over the right hand side. He comes in for this hatchery. You're going to see the Ravagers coming in. He's going to lose 2 of the Ravagers. 3 of the Ravagers. And now he turns around and kills the roaches too. Another Ravager taking some hits. He actually stopped to attack a creep tumor. Bly making some heavy mistakes. I mean, this really hurts him. But man, this creep is not receding in the corner because of the fact that the final creep tumor is still there. So that's definitely going to hurt uThermal over time. As now Lings are going to stream in towards the natural. There's only one tank in position at the moment. And those Lings are going to go straight in towards the main base mineral line. No, they're going to turn around for the siege tank, but Marines come in. The tank will be repaired. And it will stay alive. uThermal now will push across the map. He's just killed off a bunch of Ravagers and Roaches. He just killed off a bunch of Marines. He's about to hit Stimpack. Suddenly uThermal's got a very powerful anti-timing of, or very powerful, I don't know how to call it really, very powerful push across the map coming over, I guess. I guess it is an anti-timing for Bly. As you do see, I mean, it's a lot of Marines. They've got Stim and Medevac's going to support them. Multiple tanks as well. I'm actually a little bit worried. Carapace isn't even finished just yet as uThermal. He doesn't really want to fight this just yet. He will lose one of his tanks in the front here. A couple of Biles isn't enough just yet to get rid of this siege tank that was sieged up in position. Maybe seeing the tank in the back helping out a lot, but the Medevac a little bit later in the party will help to get a Korean uThermal. Forcing units though, I mean forcing units is going to stop other bits and pieces from happening as he does get this natural down. He is able to start mining there, and that's going to be huge for him of course as he's up to 3 racks now, another Medevac on the way. Ling's going to stream around the left hand side. There's not a lot over here to defend, there is a few units though, and there's the Medevac to help reposition them if required as well. He sees these Lings now, they're going to get a pretty good surround honestly to kind of start off with. Saves the siege tank at least as he's going to drop back down, and Well, I mean, he trades out the links for these units. A couple of creep teamers still around here on this side. I mean, look at the creep up this right-hand side as well. One of the advantages of proxy hatching is that your creep will come from both sides of the maps, and that definitely can create some advantages for you. +1 characters in the game will help Bly out a lot as he goes into a melee upgrade as a follow-up. Roach speed finish 2. He falls back over towards the right-hand side. He's going to get rid of this hatchery now and just stop Bly from using it as a bit of a macro hatch here. Roach is really going to push forwards and towards these tanks. Well, he loses a couple of roaches on his way over. He just cleaned out 2 and 3 tanks. There's a big commitment up there from Bly, and he will lose a lot of roaches in the long term, but I think that carapace upgrade is really going a long way. Those Marines are starting to fall, and it looks as though uThermal, there's Marines over to the right hand side and in the medevac. He's not in position to defend this, and so Bly is able to clean this up. Another couple of bars is actually going to hit on SCVs as well. uThermal is not even going to truly properly push this away. He types out GG, and eventually Bly is going to be able to take the victory after that proxy hatch play. Took a little right, we don't get XSplit to clog up too much because we don't want to crash. To the top left hand side, our blue Terran player from Team Liquid. Give it up, guys, if you're cheering on uThermal. He will open this one with some proxy racks. Just to the bottom right hand side from Team Expert, our red Zerg player is Bly. Winning with that proxy hatchery in game number 1, so this really is going to be a series of aggression, it seems, as uThermal prepares to place his racks down on the left hand side of this. The first barracks starting to build right away here. And the second barracks going to be coming down somewhat soon as well. That SCV running down the left hand side, getting ready to throw that down in the next couple of moments. There we go, 2 racks. Only 2 SCVs this time though, compared to against Namshan Ascension to Aya, our first game of the day earlier. He threw down the 4 racks on the proxies. As we are going to be seeing the refinery coming up on the main base. Hatchery throws down from Bly, but it was a pool first, already a good step towards shutting down this pressure of uThermal. So that's already a small advantage for Bly here in the early stages of this game number 2. What's up, Turgid Leafman, coming in for the 13-month resub. Got some Woody Hearts in the chat, please, for Turgid Leafman. Thank you for the 13 months, do appreciate it. Thank you very much. Why aye, man? Northern is Northern. Northern is Northern. I mean, the only thing in the south is London, right? It's the only place I know. Some drones will pull forward to try and deny this bunker, and we are going to see them picking their way through it, pulling them out of gas to get this denial. Obviously, uThermal will try and build up another bunker here once again. He has a Marine behind it, which can start to pick his way through those wings. SCV will be chased, so he has to pull off the bunker, and a second Marine coming in. Probably cancels this bunker too. And again, just eventually will probably get one up, but how long does it take him? Spine building on the high ground. And at home he does have the gas available to now build a factory. This is annoying, those lings are going to go across the map, but there will be a factory here and there will be a unit coming out to be able to deflect those lings eventually. I think it's actually maybe just going to come around from the other side. Bunker isn't ready just yet, but the Marine count's looking okay. So the lings might actually go and try and shut down a couple of Marines popping out in the next few moments as Spine Crawler is about to make a movement down towards the natural. We'll get this next bunker up a little bit closer in range of the hatchery. Spine will start to burrow, and it will start to take quite a few hits right away here. uThermal's reinforcements being chased by lings at the moment, but he really just wants to focus down the spine. Doesn't have time to mess around in other ways. Loses one Marine to the Spine Crawler and another. Queen here now is still going to keep on fighting. He has to be careful though. And again, the rest of his Marines are currently being shut down by the lings in the back. Bly, a cute little move to keep things up here as he jumps into this bunker. Hatch will take damage once again. Marines are running around all over the place to try and split up these lings, but Bly splits up the lings, and so he does a good job of keeping those Marines under fire, under pressure. Another Marine pops and will run towards the front. Looks like we'll get over to that right-hand side and towards the bunkers. Multiple Queens, lings, a Spine Crawler actually already up and burrowing once again in range of the bunker. I mean, SCVs will be able to repair it. And obviously Bly's getting ready to make a movement forwards here to basically just protect this hatchery. SCVs will repair the bunker, but as the lings and queens come in, it's going to become a lot more difficult. Well, there's the Hellion that's going to reinforce this and shut down these slow lings at least. So that is something. This hatch might go down. Bly has a transfusion. He needs to use it sooner rather than later. Here he goes. He's going to go for the Spine Crawler, hits the transfuse. What does uThermal go for? Is he going to target the hatch? He is going to target the hatch. Another transfusion though. And it looks as though uThermal will not be able to get the kill on this. Yes, now he gets his Marines fully surrounded, and Bly is defending this attack with ease at the moment. This bunker's going to go down. The Hellion's still being microed. I mean, the Queens can take that down easily. And the Spine at the front still There's no way to get the final 100 damage needed to really take this hatchery down anymore. Wings across the map, nibbling on a depot. And he cancel on this, whatever was building on the starport. Builds a medevac. I wonder if there's a way with the medevac to just drop a few marines onto the third hatch. That may very well be what he goes for here. It's just 4 marines down to the south side as the barracks. He's going to lead the charge over. Alright, so going to take some damage here from the Queens, already fighting their way through this here. Rotron starts up from Bly. Barracks still being knocked away. As you can see, the Zergling does get picked off, and again, a couple more Hellions now going to start being able to move out and across the map. Queen's still working their way through the barracks though, and as the Rotron comes up, I want to see what this medevac does. I really do. Did he actually finish the medevac? He did. Where is it? There it is. 2 Hellions already coming in. There's a gap in the main base which Bly does not have vision of. There's the potential there for uThermal to get some eco damage. I mean, talking about a very low number of, a very low number of SCVs at the moment, but also only 34 drones. It's not a huge amount, right? There's definitely some possibilities to do a lot here as 3 workers go down instantly. No pull away from Bly. And those Hellions are going to keep on roasting. This mineral line, 7 workers down, that'll go up to 8 now. Now he lifts up. Again, just needs to get away onto this hatchery. I really thought he might get the Marines over here, like with a kind of a way to kind of just try and make this happen. Like, I don't know, you lift the Marines over and then you kind of delay these, you actually get the kill on the hatch. That would be huge. Bly would be down in 1 base. He's got so many transfuses though, he should really just preemptively drop some heals on the hatchery. I think that's what he's doing right now. This full energy queen comes down, unless he's just going to inject it. Transfuse and then inject, as you're going to see. uThermal still sees this hatch low. I think he knows though that Bly will just transfuse it if anything really comes through to hurt it. 132 health is quite a lot to kind of chip through, of course. Cloak Banshee coming in. I mean, maybe a Cloak Banshee could do some damage, but again, I mean, it's just going to get transfused, right? The one good thing for uThermal is the lack of a 3rd hatch for Bly, but obviously that comes at the cost of his own natural being so late in this game anyways, so a real interesting situation at the moment. As you're going to see the Hellions and Cyclones pulling back up to the top. Bly takes the chance to... Oh no! No! Bly! Bly! Oh, there you go. You just got punished for not transfusing up that hatch. This really shouldn't have happened. Look how much energy is on these Queens. He loses the natural. And this is kind of huge for him. Les coming in, and the score pool is already yet, so actually drones are just going to go down as well. I was about to say, Bly just took quite a work of lead, but now that's disappearing very quickly as he makes double score, new hatchery, and obviously using drones in the main base as well. That's 5 and 6. And this Banshee's doing a lot. I really didn't think this hatch was going to go down. I really thought Bly, he had the transfuses available. He could have already dropped them. In a way, I was thinking maybe he was waiting to bait some units into the base, then he could drop them, but the units were just out of the Queens were out of position. So now Bly put down in 1 base for a moment or two. Suddenly uThermal is looking brilliant. Just like that, we might be going in towards a tied up game rather than a 2-0 advantage to Bly, because he didn't use some transfusions. Rochers will fight these Marines that are on the 3rd base. They take those down with quite a bit of ease, no real trouble at all there. Meanwhile, this Raven is building up on this starport as well, so getting that set up and roll. An infestation pit from Bly drops behind this mineral line too. Obviously currently just double expanding up to the natural and the 3rd. This 1 vehicle weapons is starting up again, and Cyclone's locked on. Do you pick off that Overlord? I'm going to see this medevac loading up and with a few Hellions inside. They're going to keep up the pressure as he's playing this Hellion Cyclone style with a Raven as well. Really intrigued to see how this goes and just see exactly what he's going to use that Raven for over time here. The 4 Hellion's going to go in towards the main very shortly. Queen continues to work his way through this Banshee, and we are going to see the Banshee pulling away over to the right hand side. Just about managing to escape up here. Banshee survives it. So Banshee survives for now. Again, can just come in and harass a little bit more later, as we're going to see the Cyclones starting to push forward with the Hellions. Obviously they will become Hellbats to be a bit tankier. See if this is going to work out for uThermal. He doesn't have that +1 weapons just yet, which is going to be a big part of making those Cyclones super deadly. But with the Raven here, he doesn't even have to scan to clean up creep, so the creep getting pushed back already. And then we've seen the Cyclones look as though they're going to engage in towards the spine, but there's transfusions available. It will not be missed this time as uThermal does lose one Banshee. He's still fighting this, but he's not really making any progress at all. The repair drone is not really going to make a difference either, and there's a lot of roaches and ravagers that aren't even joining this fight. It's just one spike ball, they're picking up a couple of expensive kills on Cyclones, etc. And now Roach Ravager are going to start chasing forwards. There's a medevac here to evacuate a couple of units. Hellbats are going to be caught as well. Bly is going to be able to get quite a bit here as uThermal. It's a little bit too far out on the map. Roach will be kicking in and doing quite a bit. Siege tanks will begin now for uThermal to start helping to defend this. Obviously Queen's on across the map, so they can't help out with this, and the Banshee will start to do a lot to help out, and he'll start to target down Ravagers as well. Those units have broken up one towards this high ground now, and so already we're going to be seeing quite a lot being picked away. The Banshee dodges away from the Bile. Cyclone will drop on the other side of the wall off. Tanks are on the way, but they're not here yet. That said, the Ravager count is going down to the Banshee, but it gets picked off by the Biles. And suddenly Bly's counter-attack now is doing damage, which might just end this game as well. What a back and forth one this has been. As SCV's coming to fight this, I mean, this just sort of shows you how dead uThermal was. That even after he killed the hatchery, it still wasn't necessarily enough to kind of put him in a good enough position. Tank now here, and uThermal will defend this, but down 20 workers is not going to be a pretty follow-up as it lifts up the other Cyclone. And the siege tank is protected. One roach pick off at a time. We will save the day. Third CC is up and getting ready to roll. Morphland in orbital as we speak. Getting ready to keep on going. Some factories coming in as well, up to the 5 factories in total, but Bly really looks as though he might just be in control of this one at this stage. The hatch coming down the bottom left hand side. What's up, Leopold McMalahallen? Coming with the Twitch Prime sub as well. Welcome to the Wardy family. Give some Wardy hearts in the chat, please, people, for another new sub. 9 away from 300. I'm telling you, today's the day. I'm feeling it. Thank you very much for the Twitch Prime. Appreciate the support. Glad you're enjoying the games and the content. We are going to see a few changes moving out to try and do so a little bit more. Just scouting information, just presence on the map in general for the Zerg player here. Hydralus Den coming up in the main base. A few drones going down once there. Some Hellbat drops towards the third. So actually 6 workers picked off. It's keeping the worker count within reason here between the players, honestly. It's actually making it fairly manageable for uThermal. 45 SCVs to 52 drones. That's not insane. You know, that's something you can definitely play from. Just wonder if his army's going to be enough. Now with around 15 drones, well, that might just change things up here. 15 drones at once will really obviously kind of create a lead in that worker count now. Swarm Horse Sonic coming as well, but Medevac actually keeping track of the Swarm Horse. I like it. I don't know where those locusts are going. Oh, actually splitting the locusts up, and he actually dropped a Hellion. Oh, what a play! Drops the Hellion, and he actually forces the locusts to land twice before they want to, and that means they approach so slowly, and the siege tanks can splash onto them very quickly as well. A few locusts are going to go in towards the natural, but I think they're going to get a siege tank and not much else. And this was a good way to deal with this for uThermal. A little bit micro, and he did out-micro his opponent. Salvat's tanks all setting up here on the right hand side. Plus one vehicle plating is on the way up as well for uThermal, so he's going to be on 1-1 in a moment. Swarmhosts are just going to burrow from Bly, and I guess he's just going to keep them here and kind of until uThermal realizes where they are. Obviously it can become a little bit of an annoyance trying to figure out where they are. He's going to move forwards here for the Hellion, and well, he's going to spot the Locusts. A couple of them actually drop down. He doesn't see the lack of Swarmhosts though, because the Hellion gets picked off. It stops moving due to the Locusts nearby. Roach on the right side getting picked away at. Meanwhile, Hellion runs back to the new fourth base for Bly on the bottom left side. Oh, he's starting to fight Swine Crawlers. He actually could have gotten rid of the majority of these drones. He actually does get a lot of drones though in the natural expansion at the same time. 19 workers going down. He actually started microing these Hellions over in this direction as well. So 20 workers in the end. uThermal knows how to get back into games at this point. This harassment is insane. Really putting himself into positions where he's able to get very good damage done. Tanks setting up once again. We are going to be seeing more Vipers on the way out. Smart servers upgrade coming through as well. Helps them morph those Hellions around a little bit. And well, Hellions moving to Hellbats right here. Going to be helping out with these against these Locusts. Attack going down here and there. I mean, Locusts are just spawning from so far away. They don't have any time left on them by the time they arrive. So while they're a nuisance, they're not really doing that much here overall, I don't think, for Bly. And just these Swarmhosts sat to the left side, as you're going to be seeing Hydras Going to be moving up the right at the same time. Great Spire on the way up here from Bly as well now. So setting up in towards that. A couple of Vikings on the way out. A couple of siege tanks building. A smart servers still coming in. And the +2 vehicle weapons coming in on the armory. Still setting up into all of this right now. Is going to be seeing 5 medevacs moving over to the right. And again, just going to see these swarmers going to pop up in a moment or so. The Hellion gets picked off very quickly there. The Hydra's coming to the left side. Getting that Hellion nice and quick. And it's going to be seeing uThermal going all the way over to the right. Down in towards the main in the next couple of moments. A lot of repair drones coming down to help protect it and actually save the tank at all. So I mean again, the Locust finding damage. He gets what, 2-3 tanks here? It's not bad, but Doom drop in towards the main base and oh my god, he's found the Gorilla Spire. Well, what a position to drop into because the Gorilla Spire is one of the most important tech structures for the Zerg play here, and I think it's going to be a very quick target. uThermal. Neither the Bly starts to rebuild a Spire, but it takes an eternity to build a Spire, then a Greater Spire. Talking about 2 minutes overall. It does take a very long time. So I'll have to blow it back up. They're going to drop on top of these Hydras, and that's going to be a massacre. Blue flame on Hydras? Okay, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was. The tank's getting blinding clouded as well. And we'll lose everything here. The ducks are good. The medevacs around. One last tank doesn't get a shot off to finish off another set of Hydras. And these swarm horses are going to get ready to go once again as well. Still though, denying the Greater Spire is almost worth losing a chunk of units for. It's really so valuable to you. uThermal for 4th CC about to finish. He'll probably try and take the forward base here. Gives him a lot of pushing potential as we do see him finding those swarm hosts now. So Hellions have figured out where they are, and so they're going to have to reposition. I'm not just going to be able to sit them there forever, like he was doing up until now. +2 missile attacks going to be finishing up shortly, as his +2 vehicle weapons players on similar upgrades on either side. So many, like almost pure Hydra here from Bly. I feel as though the Blue Flame Hellions going to have quite a good time against those Hydras, honestly, as pushing forwards again, uThermal going for that kind of forward base if you expect them to. It's just a base that's in a good position, and we can push forward so easily with the mech army from here across towards what is generally kind of like the 5th base of the Zerg on this map, because they just don't have anywhere else they can really take it. Not with these, at least. 9 Corruptors on the way up. The Greater Spire is building as well, so this time maybe Bly actually gets into it here. It's in the back of the natural rather than in the main base mineral line. It's just a little bit better protected, a little bit harder to drop into, especially with the massive medevacs. This one was going to move forwards again towards the natural, and honestly I just don't see them doing that much. I mean, by the time they get, they're just popping from so far away. By the time they get here, I mean, they're going to do a bit of damage to an orbital, and uThermal can just get his SCVs back to mining. Really nothing gained as Parasite Bomb on a Raven start things off right now. Hellions are just going to run forward. It's even morph in Hellbats. The T-Shanks are in a lot of blinding clouds, but I think Bly is just way too heavy on the Hydra count. Like, he is literally on mass Hydra at the moment. And that is becoming very apparent here is the Hellions, the tanks, don't morph into Hellbats, they don't siege, they do absolutely nothing which is usually needed to win fights as mech. He just A-clicks forwards, and well, he didn't A-click forwards, he did move command the Hellions into position to get good splash damage on the Hydras. But yeah, that was not pretty at all. Greater Spire about to finish. Bly's got money to make Brood Lords, but the damage he takes right now is going to be huge, and uThermal is making 4s and more Vikings in preparation for the Brood Lords coming out here. So roaches pop out and they're going down like 1 or 2 at a time. By the time Bly has the Brood Lords to truly defend this, uThermal will have cleaned up multiple bases, a lot of production. I mean, the bottom left is obviously untouched for now, but somewhere that uThermal could just peel a few units off towards. 9 Broods are coming up in the main base as well, but so this tank siege, that's actually a pretty nice siege up. You're going to see these Zephyrs moving up the ramp. It's not service allows us how he's become Hellbat super quick. He's still going to pick off like every single roach here basically, and now there isn't actually any anti-air to deal with the Vikings if they're just to pop up and to actually start targeting down those Broods. A few Hydras on the way, but there's no Corruptors, which would usually be the biggest issue in Bly. It's going to go down to just one hatchery-based structure in the game, and that's going to be this hive in the main. You see the Broods coming through, and again, uThermal is actually just building Cyclones, 4s, and Vikings to deal with it. He knows Bly has no production, Bly also has no money, so Bly is very much so kind of out of the running here. Full game 2. What a back and forth game though, from uThermal. From uThermal through to Bly to uThermal again. This was an insane back and forth of the back of aggression, and just continues all the way through. Some Broodlords dropping down, and we are going to be seeing those tanks continuing to get picked away out here by the Broodlords. Swarmhosts are still on the map, amazingly enough. We haven't seen them for some time. No Hellions at the moment, which actually makes it difficult to deal with the Locust. Oh, but the tanks are going to run into Hydras and the Swarmhosts here as well, and if he has a scan, there's nothing to protect those Swarmhosts, and Bly isn't even trying to run them away. He just types out GG. He knows he will not find a proper way to end this, and uThermal ties up the series, 1 game apiece. uThermal and Bly. Let's kick it off and see what happens, as we do have to the top left hand side from Team Expert. The blue Zerg player is Bly. His opponent bottom right, Red Terran, Team Liquid, is uThermal. Best of 5 game 3 on Neon Violet Square. It's the first game. We're not going to see an immediate proxy from either player. So we're going to get into one that will move along just a little bit more, just a little bit, a bit of a longer game, I guess. At least the early game would suggest. Obviously that last game, excuse me, turned into quite a long game as well. So setting up, we're going to see this orbital morphing in on the main base, and it's just so far a Reaper expansion, not too much to point out or scream about just yet. This SCV of uThermal. Going to start moving in towards the upper left hand side, see where it can go and what it can get up to. Obviously just wants to try and spot what Bly is going for, because Bly is a little bit of a tricky opponent and definitely can come up with some different ways to play and some different strats, and it's never a bad thing, I don't think, to go an SCV scout Bly. It just gives you that security of what is going on. Do let us know who you're cheering on in this series, guys, and just as a reminder of how today is looking, we'll go into, after this, the loser of this series against Maxted in the 3rd place matchup, the winner of this series against Mana in the grand finals of the Masters Cup, and that's 2 more best of 5s. After that, we have the WardiTV Christmas Invitational Playoffs. Our first matchup in that tournament is going to be Showtime against TLO, and then after that we're probably going to cast Snoot Nurture, then semi-final number 1, semi-final number 2, and the grand final. There's also players and matches such as uThermal and Namsharp, Live versus Reno, or the other round of 8 matches that we are not necessarily going to cast ourselves in the round of 8. But we are going to cast a couple of the round of 8 matches, then the semis, and then the finals. The finals of that event is going to be best of 7 because of the Christmas Invitational. So why the heck not make it a best of 7? You know. Super fast left and Bly. He rushed 2 base middle on this map earlier against Sol, and he didn't really do a lot, but it looks as though he's interested in doing it again, so I guess we'll see if it's going to be working out for him this time around at least. We're just coming through, finishing in a moment or so. Rocharoran is on the way up as well here for Bly, so Rocharoran going to be finishing up momentarily as you'll see the armory of uThermal being placed in quite a position just in the back here. So actually, I guess a Nidus network comes down off of this level. Is it just super fast roach speed at Nidus? Whoa. Rocharoran and Aspire. How interesting. What has Bly seen? Not really anything at all. Starport going to lift off, move over to the left side. Barracks will move forwards. As Hellions are going to finish up and load into their medevacks. It's going to be Hellions morphing into Hellbats in the main. Small Hellions here as well. I guess he could morph into the front and move forwards. Anyway, Spire coming up. Bly has not made any roaches just yet, and he is about to be supply blocked. So actually, maybe not any roaches to be made in the near future anyways. A Viking in a siege tank too. uThermal playing super safe, but that's not actually going to save him when the Spire play comes out. As we do see the Queens dropping in towards the main base. And he'll start morphing into Hellbats if he wants to. He's going for it just yet. As you can see, one Hellion will go down. Just going towards the middle line. uThermal doesn't really gain a lot with this, and he does get into the natural to see the Spire, so now he knows what's coming up. Interestingly enough, he's still building a siege tank. Probably cancel and build a 4, right? I mean, he's actually going to go, okay, he's going to build barracks onto the tech lab, factory onto the nothing. I guess he just builds turrets and Viking or 2, maybe the starport onto the reactor even. uThermal's still macro in this medevac, but it feels as though he's letting his macro slip because of it. Has on 2 barracks builds a reactor on the starport. Okay, so he isn't actually too worried, it seems. I guess it looks as though he's going to be kind of quite content that he can hold this off with just a few turrets spread around across his bases. So that's what uThermal will go for right away here to try and set up and defend. As we do just have the well, a few more meters on the way out. Again, the +1 flyer attack is currently starting up as well. So getting set up and ready to go in towards those meters here as we see Lings and more meters coming down through the center and towards the bottom right hand side. Look to see what else is going to be happening. Bly looking to keep up the aggression. A few extra drones finishing up, more meters on the way. You see a Hellion coming in to push back the Zergling right from the get-go, and we're going to see a Viking already nipping his way through a couple of those mutalisks as well. Because generally though just turned back here, 4 of them not really able to do much else as we see the 3rd CC of uThermal being thrown down once again. Feels defending pretty well though, and the Marine count's coming up, so he's going to be able to keep on pushing those meters back. No wall off here, maybe that's what Bly tries to abuse now. With some Lings coming down, maybe tries to get them across the map and just surround all these units. He's actually just going to dive on these Marines here for the meters, with the Viking coming in as well. Honestly, the meter count's going down, but it does open the opportunity for these Zerglings to do a bit more. I mean, Marine count comes up and replaces itself pretty quick. The siege tank will actually be repaired here enough. No, it isn't. Tank goes down, and uThermal falling apart a little bit right now as this Viking is still sort of saving the day to some extent. But now the Lings run into the natural, and uThermal does not have anything to protect this any longer. The Viking goes down. I guess uThermal doesn't really know what to do for the best of them. Well, he's going to fight the Lings with the SCVs. It looks as though Bly's is going to keep on fighting, and SCVs do keep on dropping. And this let's play this time from Bly seems to have worked out. Stim's going to finish. I mean, just everything going so wrong for all of a sudden for uThermal. Almost out of nowhere, he just well, blots out on everything, as we're going to be seeing in typing easy. I don't think he's in an easy position just yet, though. Let's just see where this goes. A roach switch coming in from Bly. He moves the meters away, of course, going to keep those around. There's another wave of Lings coming across. Bly have a lot of money in the bank at the same time. If you spend all of that on roaches right now and Lings, well, his supply would just be exploding. He actually builds 12 more drones as he is going up towards the 4 bases. Bly's looking as though he's going to be able to take the advantage here in this best of 5. Basically, Bly versus Mana. I've casted Bly versus Mana in so many different events lately, it's kind of insane. I casted Bly versus Mana actually in the WardiTV Christmas Invitational groups, which was some great series. I cast them a couple of times in the Corsair Cup 2017 season finals. It's becoming a bit of a rivalry recently. Bly was to play Mana in that finals, it would be another matchup between them as we see this missile turret is going to be going down. Marines are stimming around to try and protect. uThermal's hanging on 30 SCVs, building a 3rd CC at the back of his natural. Had to cancel that 3rd base that was building before when those Lings ran in. Obviously that kind of sucks and that kind of hurts. A couple of tanks are sitting on the natural expansion as well, and it's going to be seeing this hive is starting up here from Bly. A couple of overlords going to pop and moving around too. Creep spread just pushing down the left, pushing through the center. Vest on the way up. A couple of SCVs go down at the end as meters just find themselves in small little openings, the kind of tiniest of opportunities to deal damage. Bly on 70 drones. I mean, this is where his supply, his game plan just explodes, right? He's on 70 workers against 31. He's just going to make masses of units. He's getting all the tech he needs. Infest is even coming into play already. The hive tech's coming through. There's really no way that this ends well for uThermal. Surely, there is just no way this ends well for uThermal. You see the missile turret being used to help push those meters away, and we are going to see a couple more SCVs going down. +1 armor is going to finish up as well. I'm just going to be seeing these Marines still just trading, provoking and prodding. This meters really taking a bit of a beating. But 9 SCVs fell once again, and it's just that consistent work of damage that adds up in a game like this one. Thank you very much, by the way, Taco Stuff coming in with the cheer 60. How you doing? Thank you for the cheers as always. If you're having a good day, just dropping by. Bly about to max out. I mean, really just not going into this too quick. uThermal scans and sees hive. He's probably like, oh, well, sees Infest is popping too. He's probably like, oh, yeah. I mean, I guess he's got like And he doesn't even have a timing here, like you push across the map into Mass Roach, is that really going to do anything? No. Of course it isn't. uThermal trying his best on the situation, but obviously, I mean, it's a very, very tough situation to play out of. The game is almost more or less guaranteed to not go your way at this stage, so not really surprised me. It is even being used to pick off a couple of tanks which are going all the way around in certain ways on the map, and while the 4 drops down will help to push them away. Tank saved by the medevac. It's something, but then he sees all of these roaches, and I think uThermal's probably going to be out of this game very, very soon, because well, how do you ever fight against this many roaches? Liberator on the way up, 2-2 upgrades as well, and Bly, as he maxes out, will just get ready to start fighting, I believe. And why not? Just fight, fight, fight all the time. There's no way he should lose this, right? From the eco advantage he has, like, he can take some really terrible trades here as the Beers finally fall. He can take some really terrible trades and still have a good time and still have good fights because of just how much eco he has. I guess that doesn't make sense. Bad trades with good fights, but overall it's a bad trade. But the fight might be good for him because he can just remax and go again for it. Never a good fight, you know, just because he overwhelms. He might just overwhelm right now. One tank already goes down. The Liberator, or even if it sieges up here, I mean, the parameters are going to battle it instantly. Overgrowth coming down here, that will help out as the battles, and I think the Liberator gets picked off. It does. Third base dies too. uThermal will try and fight this with the remaining Marines. I mean, just try and stick around a little bit. Fall is actually doing quite a bit to the south side here, and Ultra kind of trapped in amongst the roaches, not able to actually get out and do much helping. Sometimes you're going to be able to through as the Marines have died off, and well, it's 2G Bly going to take game 3 and put himself onto match point, 1 map away from playing Mana in that best of 5 finals and moving through from these semis. Bly has to win both this event because of the fact that obviously, well, tomorrow I'm casting IEM qualifiers, the day after I'm casting IEM qualifiers as well. You can watch me on the ESL stream. I'm going to be casting those with Todd. That's why I'm in Poland. Then the day after that I end up flying home, and then it's Christmas of course. So this is my last stream until the 26th, which isn't too far away. You guys should be all busy with your families anyways, right? Good. Perfect. So yeah, but obviously if you do want to see when I'm going live in the future, hit that follow button. We try and keep you up to date with all the StarCraft 2 content on a regular daily basis. So we kick it off to the bottom right hand side, our blue Terran player from Team Liquid. Give it up for uThermal. Top left hand side, our red Zerg. It is Bly. Representing Team Expert. Hatch gas pool opening here on Ascension to Aya to kickstart things. As you just see this overload coming through the center of the map in the early stages. Gas finishes, pool on the way up, and yeah, and everything is really nothing too crazy to get us rolling. Longest series of the day so far, I think. I guess Bly Soul was kind of long, but there was some quick games in it anyways, even though it went to 5 maps. Can't even just to see the differences, I guess, as the games develop. There is an Overlord moving across, and yeah, we actually seen quite a few fun TvZs today, I guess, overall. This series has been pretty fun as well. Some interesting back and forth games and some back and forth moments. Create some, yeah, just some cool moments so far. There's the SCV going to move in towards the left hand side, and you're going to see a couple of queens, some lings, at link speed, all of it on the way out. Factory about halfway done here for uThermal. We're going to see this reactor about halfway done as well now. Getting ready to go in towards the Hellions here in the next few moments. Link speed coming up still as we see this Reaper starting to poke and prod, picking its way through a couple of lings. And just continue to micro around. Do not forget, guys, the Match Arena page is still active. If someone could throw that Match Arena link into the chat with the command ! Match Arena. Guys, if you haven't used your coupon code already on the Match Arena page, get it done. No excuses. Get that Match Arena code used up, and it would be awesome to get it used up, and yeah, just use it up. I mean, there's really no excuses, guys. Like, I'm being deadly serious here. Like, there's no excuses. But it would be awesome to get it used up, because obviously it just adds up money on the prize pool for the players. So get that done. Takes about 20-30 seconds. Super simple. Again, right now, Bly doesn't seem to be making this too crazy of a scenario or anything. There's a couple of Hellions popping out, a Banshee and a Cloak coming up as well. Then a Rotron startup from Bly, not too fast or anything. I mean, it's not really, you know, it's kind of a bit faster than some players would play, but it's probably just like a Roach speed. Maybe a free base Nidus as a potential possibility. How many queens has he got? 3? Nah, probably not. I think just send up for the Roach speed early on. You'll see Hellions trying to run by. Well, getting quite a lot of lings, but not a lot of drones. Gets up to 4 workers killed, and that'll be about it. I mean, again, got a few lings in the process. Really, he's lost 8 lings and 4 drones. Yeah, okay, it's alright. Like, in terms of resources, it's pretty even. He found with more Hellions on the way out, so obviously doesn't care too much about losing the first few in terms of map control, because he will get the map control back with the rest of the Hellions that he's making at the moment. And the Banshee coming up the left side is yet to be seen, I believe, unless you flew through this Overlord. And this Overlord's seen the cloak she upgrading anyways, so Bly's not going to be caught off guard as Lairs finished at you, so you can go in towards the Overseer nice and quick. And just start setting up from there. This does go to game 5, by the way. It's battle on the boardwalk as our map, and obviously that will create some interesting opportunities and situations for these players. We're going to see a couple of drones being chased down by this Banshee, which is going to run in towards the left-hand side here, and let's wait for a queen or two every now and then. Overseer flies in, and we are going to see this Banshee pushed away back in towards the centre. And there's the Nidus, so it's going to be this Nidus coming up. I mean, Bly seems to like this player, and well, does uThermal have what he needs to defend? A tank on the way, Marine production starting, this Banshee, 2 of them alive, and is bringing 1 back home. It's definitely a possibility they can make this work out. As you see, there's Overseer coming in, so you can drop the Nidus nice and easily. The Marines will see the Overseer, and uThermal selects it instantly, so he knows it, he sees it, immediately builds a bunker, and again, going to create kind of this wall off, so the tank can be very safe behind. Very difficult to then reach that with the roaches, etc. So actually, already the Sim City looking very good for uThermal, because the tank pulls back, it sieges up, and the queens start to pop out. The Banshees will cloak, and initially, one queen here jumps back into the Nidus network. The roaches start coming around the top side and from the south. But again, I mean, it takes them so long to do that, but the siege tank is having a pretty good time, and it's cleaned out pretty much everything. The queens won't do anything at all either. There's a couple more roaches coming to join the fray. Well, players can get kicked up and pushed away, obviously really not much being gained. Another Nidus in the natural though, so the potential to do a bit more, but second siege tank, honestly, I mean, it isn't looking like there's actually going to be a lot done here, right? I mean, the Nidus is going to get a few units out, but the tank's going to siege, and I mean, SCVs might have to run around a little bit, but in general, there's going to be a shutdown, and you might even be able to save this depot. Save the depot. It's going to go down. Slight shame, but not the end of the world. Starts up his +1 attack upgrade, Sim about to finish, and uThermal with the potential counter-attack obviously has a lot of opportunities because, well, Bly doesn't have that much eco. He doesn't, you know, he just lost a bunch of units as well. It really is prime time for counter-attacking. Another tank sieges up here, another missile turret in the mineral line. Just going to make sure that Tunnel Claws and Burrow, I guess, doesn't become a long-term issue, so uThermal with some very good preparation of this right now. Extra overlords continue to come on up, and yeah, as they pop, just getting everything kind of in towards positions here. As we see the Changeling going to be spotting a few Hellions running by. uThermal is putting by, obviously. I mean, we saw Stim, we saw Marines throughout this game already. Just to say it out loud, just to confirm that these Hellions are not super important. It's not going to be more of them once these first few get picked off. Again, Burrow and Tunnel Claws is finishing up here as uThermal just keeping his tank sieged up. Is he on a third CC? No, he's just 2 base in it. So maybe looking to abuse the kind of aggressive timing that he did earlier. That was very powerful as well. A great counter-attack came in early after he held off some aggression early on and slowed Namchar down. Just going for the 2 base here again, but probably wants to wait for the +1 attack at least. These roaches are burrowed in the center here, waiting for a large army of uThermal to move through. Now he just cleans up the watchtowers. I don't think Bly should reveal himself. He's gonna pop. uThermal just lifts. I mean, he loses what, like a few Marines. This would have been a lot better waiting for the, you know, for the tanks or something, I think. I mean, I know Bly wants to try and get something done, but if you wait for the tanks to run in the center, you kill off the tanks, this game becomes a very different scenario. And instead of Bly fighting an uphill battle, he's just caused an avalanche in uThermal's mountain that he's built up here, and which he's sat on top of in terms of the lead of this game. He just comes snowballing down. Now he's actually trying to move forward with the turrets are in position already, so does he even kill a single siege tank? No, he loses like 10, 12 roaches. Doesn't even kill a tank here, and now Medevac's moving around the map, and 2 sets of Medevac's. The uThermal micro will begin, and obviously as the uThermal micro begins, it becomes very difficult to deal with him as he gets rid of an overseer here already. A changeling goes down, he lifts up again, he'll reposition, he'll look for another opportunity. He's got the Medevac's in the center as well, getting ready to do a little bit more. uThermal looks as though he's going to be taking us into a 5th and final game of the series today. If he keeps playing like this, Roach just push forwards, we are going to see the Marines stimming. I'm just going to back away actually for now, and again keeping a presence on the map by just moving around, and he's got these 2 Medevac's up here to come back in whenever the opportunity arises and shows itself. 4 Infestors on the way up before Bly at the moment, some more Roaches on the way out too, and I mean, he's getting into a decentish army, but uThermal, he's got this very powerful push, and I mean this is what, 7 siege tanks, a lot of Marines, plus 1 attack is finished, plus 1 armor's not far away. This is the big 2 base timing that uThermal's been building for since he took early damage. Since he held that early, he didn't really take damage, but since that early attack of Bly, he's been pretty dead set on going in towards something like this, and so here we go. The big push is coming through, very patient initially with that first siege up, scans ahead, make sure he keeps track of the burrowed roaches, obviously does not want to end up in a position where he's caught off guard by those or anything. You probably see one more scan available just so you can scan. Yeah, he's got a couple of CCO scans. Supposed to scan to make sure those roaches don't get on top of the tank without taking the fire on the way in. The Marines are going to block them from escaping up the top side as easily, and well, they're going to get shut down very heavily. They're going to keep on running away. Maybe one of them gets out of range of the scan, 2 of them do. I mean, he goes back in, this base is going to fall, and uThermal just going to crush on through this entire army, cruising his way to victory in this one. A very simple defense against the Nidus early on, leading into this big counter push, this big counter play, and well, now we see a few more roaches being picked away. We see this spore color picked off, extractor going down. Roaches and Infestors going to keep on gathering from Bly, and I mean, he's got an energy on the Infestors now at least, but obviously it's just taking him so long to get here. It's not really going to be great for him. Well, Marines need to be careful simming up the ramp right because they're going to be choked up against Infestors. It's kind of the opposite of what he wants. So the first fungal hits just 1 Marine, that's exactly what he wants. And still roaches over on the natural expansion of uThermal, being turned away as well as they try to burrow their way in, but to get shut down by the turret and reinforced units just sitting around and waiting for something like that to happen. The Marines stimming ahead again, just seeing if he can pick up a couple of units with enough Medevac's here in the skies. Oh, it's not that bad of a scenario. Got the Cross of Bars combo to platform just a little bit here. But again, not really enough. And as more Marines stim up this ramp, he splits up slightly and even with huge fungals here. That is a huge fungal to start things off. Even with huge fungals, uThermal has way too much. And he will overwhelm Bly in 12 minutes on Ascension to Higher to take us into battle on the boardwalk as a 5th and final map of this semi-final in the OSC Masters Cup in 108. GG is called uThermal. It's going to tie us up once again, and a 5th map is to do this. We kick it off to the upper left hand side with our right Terran player here on Battle on the Boardwalk to see who goes through to the grand finals. Our red Terran player is Team Liquid's uThermal. His opponent to the upper right hand side is going to be the blue Zerg player. Give it up if you tune on Team Experts Bly. Guess where his first hatchery of the game is. The thing is, this is a tough one for uThermal to scout, right? Because he might assume it's just on the gold base, so you see, actually it might not be. That kind of suck. And that could just lead him to misinformation and hence a bad way of dealing with this. But uThermal actually built his barracks away from the wall, so maybe aware of the fact that Bly might try something like this. And so maybe aware of the fact that he's going to be preparing to do something other than that, as he's going to come down to the bottom left and build the CC over here. So he is going to take the gold as his base. And we'll see how this turns out. But obviously, right now, an SCV is approaching the front. And it is going to get into the main base to scout. You'll see no base here. Go into the main, see the road draw, and it already gives him pretty much information of what this is going to be. Just some early info. I mean, actually, now as the Reaper comes out, he's going to see this creep spread as well. So uThermal knows it's a proxy. He's actually building a 2-1-1. How's a 2-1-1 work in this scenario? Oh, I love this, by the way. He builds this second depot kind of away from the ramp, which is where the Ravagers will often try and bile. It just means they have to kind of come around this side to be able to bile this depot rather than just being able to do it from over here. It's a little bit of a nuisance, obviously, as we do see. Well, the bunker's going to get a chance to finish the reactor coming up. A second bunker behind it. First row just going to pop out in a moment or two. I imagine Tech Lab will build wherever that second rack says. There it is up here. No, he's going to, I guess, go into Marine straight away makes sense. As you see the bunker, depot raises to push that Roach or 2 back. As Marines come out here, been a couple of SCVs will prepare for a moment or so. Get ready to defend this. Needs to make sure he doesn't lose this boat. Grenade comes down, blast the Roaches. Oh! One Roach is now on the wrong side of all of this, and obviously that's going to hurt a little bit as well. So Marines jumping back in here as a Reaper chases that Roach down. He will pick up the kill in a moment. Reaper picking a Roach up already. That was a great grenade. Just pops out, grenade, Roach over the wall, kaboom. Just like that. Obviously issues arise. Well, corrosive bars, you can see the bunker and the depot taking a shot there. Bile lands just in the center of both of them. Another bile, and again the bunker just going to take a little bit more damage. SCV's coming back in to repair up. This time he might lose this depot actually. In fact, he is going to lose the depot. Doesn't repair it in time, and it opens up access towards the base. Factories on attack lab, and it is building a siege tank. So again, he's moved away from what was meant to be the 2-1-1 in towards just defense against this. So makes sense, but it's keeping him very safe so far. As you're going to see him losing another depot perhaps, but it doesn't seem to be the end of the world for him. He loses another Marine that tries to chase down a Ravager. The bar's going to get rid of that depot, but another depot is already building in the back, and now a tank behind 2 bunkers. Yeah, I think Bly is kind of out of this one in terms of being able to do further damage. uThermal defending very well so far, and Bly doesn't even have a natural up or anything. I imagine he'll take the gold when he gets the chance. uThermal is definitely in control of this game, and now starting to mine off of his own gold. His eco lead is only going to get better and better throughout the game. Mobile is getting that deep very low. One mobile next, but the SCVs have already been repairing. This tank going to be a bit further forwards. This time this bunker will go down, so it does open up the opportunity. This tank needs to be careful. It's right next to the bunker. I mean, a few biles and that goes down instantly, more or less. That's why he's going to bring the Marines forward to try and force biles earlier. Just be able to actually get damage onto the Ravagers before they bile the tank. Push the Overlords away as well. Get rid of the high ground vision. Just scans, and the Ravager is going to go down south, break through these these rocks, of course, and gets access to the gold base. Tanks continue to come out, and uThermal not going to mess around. He knows those Ravagers just ran down south, so he knows there isn't tons of units over here. So he's going to start fighting forwards because of that, and he's just going to push on through. Ravager's going to be accessed by these units, and more Ravagers actually coming back up. He actually has to abandon those rocks for a moment. And she goes back to them with a little bit of indecision about how he wants to deal with this Bly. uThermal will mine off the gold base for as long as possible. Bly starts to take his own gold back at home, but did he really do enough with this? Currently 30 drones, but can you really mine 30 drones off of one base? Well, not really. See those tanks very slow to siege up, but they siege up eventually and do get another Roach on the exit. And again, I like this. Just one tank siege, the other tank unsiege, moving back and forth. And he sets up this tank as well, just starting to get in range of this hatchery and put himself in a bit of a better position. Again, an unsiege tank will help to chase Ravagers back. Just forces biles away from the siege tanks. It's finally the Ravager's going to arrive on this base, but uThermal was so ready to just lift up and leave here, like he didn't even have to think about it. He just knew that that was going to be the situation he ends up in, knowing that those Ravagers were going to get there eventually. I guess he lost the depot as well as the Ravagers broke to the high ground, so he had a very good warning that this was about to happen. Well, uThermal now is on one base mine, but he was on the gold base for a while, which obviously helped him. But tank numbers doing a lot for him at the moment, as we do see. No real defense in the main base, though, you see, which is taking quite some hits. The tank now goes down here, and I guess uThermal will have to come and fight these Ravagers over in the main. He's going to pull SCVs in to help fight this. 32 SCVs and 23 drones at the moment, by the way. That's starting to drop very fast, but obviously for uThermal, it's kind of okay right now. As you can see, one tank goes down, but that will be all. Dodges the next corrosive bar. Now Ravagers at the front, but Bly is really not making the progress he needs to, and every Ravager will go down. I mean, that just instantly opens up this game for a counter-attack from uThermal, right? He's got tanks, he's got Marines in good numbers. He's got his gold base able to go back towards the bottom left as well, I think. Even if you don't counterattack right away here, the advantage is insane. Despite the workers' loss, it's still 32 to 23 workers. And now Bly is just cancelling roach after roach, realizing that he's probably not got a lot to gain by letting those finish. As he's just going to get that Cryptium as well behind this mineral line. And so uThermal can pull on up and put himself onto a base there as well. So he's going to be able to put himself up on a base there. Stimpack starting on up as well eventually from the 2-1-1 build that he should have hit with a stim drop like 2.5 minutes ago. Obviously, this was a divergence based on what Bly was doing, and so his stim coming in just the next few moments as Bly saturates a gold base. uThermal, I mean, again, his eco advantage is just going to be insane in this as he starts up a Storm Core 2, playing the safety game, just waiting until he really commits on forwards into all of this now. Marine's picking off an Overlord, and we do see Ravagers just gathering up on this right hand side watchtower. Marine getting picked off by a Roach as well, and well, some reason he's going to go and greet this Roach. Still not ready yet, so he can't really chase it, but pushes it away, just stops it from taking the watchtower, protects the Marine in his vision. And Bly is still just playing a bit of a tough game as uThermal gets set to go in towards 1-1 upgrades and all sorts. And what does Bly really go for here? His tech is non-existent, he's only just gone up towards 2 bases. I mean, okay, one of them's a gold, that's nice, but is it really going to be changing the game for him? And in terms of the income, he's still down by about 600 minerals per minute. His gas income is about the same as uThermal's, which is great, but I mean, again, the mineral income is very important as well, of course, as the scan now just getting rid of some of these Cryptiums that have been pushing their way down the left side of the map in general. uThermal cleaning up space to move in towards the third base even perhaps. And the scan gets a couple of tumors, but he does find the Rush Ravager, which he has to be very cautious of still. He's going to be very reliant on mostly tanks to help defend still. At this stage, the medevac moves forward, and well, Bly is very desperate to do some damage. He picks off 2 of the tanks, which is nice, but he loses absolutely everything in the process, and there's 2 more tanks remaining. You know, now Stim's ready, another tank's halfway done. These roaches over here are going to get found, and uThermal just pushes those back without any issue at all. In terms of upgrades, I mean, there's no roach speed, there's no less, there's no burrow, there's no tumbling claws. uThermal with a very solid defense here this time around. Obviously, he lost the first game of this series to a proxy hatch play. He isn't going to let the same thing beat him twice, though. He is looking to set it up as a Team Liquid team kill. In the grand finals, uThermal against Mana would be that best of 5 final. And of course, before that, we would have Bly Maxed if this game continues to play out the way which is looking to right now. Bly Maxed being the 3rd place match if Bly is unable to turn this around. What an uphill battle that would be. It wouldn't be battle on the boardwalk anymore, it would be battle on Mount Everest. Because it really would be quite difficult. Bly really does not have much going for him at all, and now uThermal's just strengthening his position. 1-1 upgrades, 5 racks, 2 base. I mean, he's not even taken a 3rd yet, which just means that the pressure just continues to build up into stupid amounts, to the point where Bly shouldn't really be able to hold off a timing in the near future. Second medevac can join up with this one down to the south, and it just creates this opportunity to fight very easily down here. uThermal missing combat shields, by the way. Probably want to build into that sooner rather than later. It's just a mistake. There's obviously no reason not to build combat shields, especially at this stage of the game. He has the income to afford it. As you see him moving forwards, well, buildings come in and they tank a little bit for roaches, which helps, but eventually Marines can stim forwards again. They still don't have 1-1, but they trade well enough, and those roaches just continue to drop, and he medevacs with them. Just really stop these roaches from doing the damage every shot that they need to. And Bly's already evacuating the gold, bringing his drones back up to the main base to mine all over again, but losing the gold base economy was one of the things he had going for him, if not the only thing he had in advantage over uThermal, was that he had a gold base mining and uThermal really didn't. And I'd be able to keep it alive, even if he keeps it alive here. Is it really going to matter? I mean, probably not. It would help, but it's probably still not going to do enough. 1-1 about to finish, and uThermal realizing he doesn't have combat shield stops that up as well. Again, the upgrades which just can help him to put an end to this game number 5 and to put himself in the finals after a real up and down series. It's been a crazy one. I mean, probably the best series we've had so far in terms of a natural overall series today. The game has been very back and forth, and some crazy moments throughout as the Marine numbers to the northern side is the real story of this. The tanks were kind of a little bit exposed here, but it doesn't even matter. With 1-1 Marines stepping in, GG is caught by Bly. There's no way to fight this, and uThermal takes game 5 this series, and he's going to the finals to play against his teammate Mana, of course.